How many of you have had an idea, a goal, or something you really wanted to do, but never started? A year ago, I stood in front of a stranger's door, holding a bucket, a sponge, and a printed sheet of paper with my business name on it. Now, at the time, it wasn't laminated. It wasn't the most professional. It was just printed on a regular sheet of paper. And I remember staring at the stranger's doorbell, unable to move. They might say no. They might laugh. They might shut the door on me before I even finish. And for a second, I almost walked away. Not because I didn't want to try, but because I didn't feel ready. But I rang it. And in that moment, I learned something I wish someone had told me years earlier. Confidence doesn't come first, action does. As students, we're told to prepare. Prepare before you apply, before you lead, before you speak. And yes, preparation does matter, but at times it can become a place of hiding. And that's where the power of starting before you're ready kicks in. And I didn't truly understand that until I actually lived it. When I started SF Details, a car detailing business, I didn't have a client list, a team, a social media following, or even a website. I just had an idea and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Just picture a warm summer day where the sun is blazing down as you walk around your neighborhood going door to door with a simple pen and flyer you had designed on Canva. That's exactly how I remember my first day of going door to door. I rehearsed my pitch at least 30 times in my head. Hi, my name is Shailan. I'm starting a local detailing service. Would you be interested? I practiced it while walking up the driveway, while waiting at the door, and even the few seconds before someone opened it. And then boom, the first person I talked to cut me off halfway through my pitch. We're not interested. And just shut the door on me directly. I said to myself, okay, that stung a bit, but next house. At the next house, I barely got through my introduction before they asked, do you have insurance? And in that moment, my stomach sank. Because I didn't. And that one question had exposed every single thing I hadn't thought through in terms of running the business. So I went home that day without a single customer and sat in my room thinking, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And that's the moment most ideas die. Not because they weren't good enough, but because of all the embarrassment that makes us want to quit before we give ourselves a real chance. And I'm sure some of you here in this room today have felt that same feeling. That moment where you tried so hard at something, but it just didn't go the way you planned. You see, I had two choices, quit or find a solution. I chose to persevere. So the next day, instead of going back out with the same pitch, I wrote down every single objection I heard and found a solution for each. For example, you look too young. That could just mean wearing a collared shirt or slowing down while you speak, own the room. Or do you have experience? For me specifically, I started photographing work I did on family vehicles and built a portfolio from nothing. Each rejection wasn't a closed door. It was just a note telling me exactly where I needed to improve. And what I realized is that after 10 doors, I was less scared. After 20, I stood straighter. And after 30, I didn't take the rejections personally. And eventually, someone did say yes, not because I was fully prepared, but because I had been sharpened by every no that came before it, only made possible with that first beginning. Now that first yes turned into more clients, word spread throughout the neighborhood, and by the end of summer, SF Details had gone from a name printed on a regular sheet of paper to a business with a real revenue, real customers, and a reputation I had built by going door to door. But it all started with one car, one driveway, one afternoon. I spent way longer on the car than I needed to, wiping panels twice, possibly even 3 times. Not because I needed it, but because I cared about getting it right. And when I took a step back, something shifted. The day before, it had all just been an idea. Now it was a business. And that's when I understood that starting small is all you need to kickstart your journey. And eventually, that first leap of faith that once felt impossible starts to feel normal. Because you don't gain confidence and then take action, you take action, even a small step, and your confidence will grow from it. Because small beginnings don't stay small, they grow. You see, that first doorbell didn't just lead to more customers, it made it easier for me to step into things that once felt slightly out of reach. For example, leading over 100 members as the provincial marshal for a youth leadership program, traveling to the Dominican Republic on a mission trip of serving families, starting the first ever remote control club in my high school. Each step built on the last, each opportunity pushing me a bit further. But it all traces back to being willing to start. I still think about that first doorbell, the hesitation, the quiet debate in my head, walk away or ring it. No one was watching. No one would have been there and blamed me if I left. The only person who would have known was myself. And your doorbell might not look the same, but that moment exists for every single person you're in this room today. It's in the email you keep drafting but never send, the team you want to try out for but just haven't, the leadership role that feels slightly out of reach, or the opportunity you think you're too young for. But here's what I know. Failure is feedback. Those early rejections weren't closed doors. They were just notes telling me exactly where I needed to improve. And starting small was powerful. That first doorbell didn't build a business. It just built belief in myself. That's the power of starting before you're ready. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Start small, learn from the no's, and just ring the doorbell. Your confidence will catch up. Thank you.